Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're continuing our read through of Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings, and we're up to a short chapter, chapter 31, Beneath the Skin. This is a flashback back to young Kaladin, and you'll remember that back in Hearthstone, where they live, which is in High Prince Sadeas's princedom, a very northern part of Alethkar, and the city Brightlord has died. And as a parting gift, he gave Lirin, who is Kaladin's father, a jar of spheres. And he said that that was going to be a parting gift to Kaladin so that he could go to Kharbranth and train to be a physician. And so Lirin has been holding on to those. Well, the new city lord that has come in, Brightlord Roshone, is pretty much the opposite of Brightlord Wistio, who was there before. And he is anal, he is selfish, he is aggressive, and he does not like the fact that Lirin is sitting on that money. And he doesn't like the fact that Lirin maybe even had the support of the people that Roshone doesn't seem to have. We don't know much about what's going on, but we know that it's not a peaceful situation. And in fact, Roshone made an announcement in Hearthstone that if Lirin is not willing to charge spheres for his service, because Lirin didn't make the poor people pay spheres that they didn't have, he'd accept food, he'd accept different types of bartering. He said, well, then maybe he shouldn't have your service. A subtle way of indicating that there's pressure to not go to Lirin for medical aid. And the family has been dealing with that, so they are very much struggling financially. And the chapter is essentially a conversation between Kaladin and his father. Kaladin is still trying to hold off mentally until he's 15, because that's going to be when he's old enough to volunteer to join the army and be a spearman. And that's kind of what he's decided in his brain that he's going to do. He doesn't want to be a surgeon. He's still studying. He's still doing his job because he thinks that that'll help him be a better soldier. He hasn't told his father that yet. And he's really struggling because he doesn't know why his father doesn't fight back. And this is something that we're going to see about Lirin throughout the course of the story. He takes the pacifist approach. And this is not a spoiler. You've seen it already. He is going to try to save life, not take it. And for someone like Kaladin, who is even at this young age a warrior, that does not compute in his brain. Well, the main thrust of the chapter comes when there is a loud thumping at the door. And Lirin opens the door, and there are hooded figures who have come to steal the jar of spheres. And Kaladin's terrified. And he doesn't really understand why his father is so bold. He thinks that these are just highway ruffians who have come to either kill them and take the plunder or do whatever they're going to do. And Roshone, not Roshone, forgive me, Lirin flings open the door, goes back to where he keeps the spheres, and they're in a jar covered up with a towel of some sort, a covering. He pulls it off, and they're bright light, right? The spheres glow. This huge light comes, and he can see the faces. They're covered in masks, but Kaladin can see the people who are standing there. And he begins to notice characteristics physically about each of them that he recognizes. These are townspeople that Lirin has treated medically, and they're giving into fear, and they don't want this anger from Roshone because they feel like they're also going to get it next. So, and Lirin essentially challenges them and says, well, here, if that's what you want, take him. And just know that if you have him and he doesn't have him, he's coming after you next. And so one by one, they start to walk away. And Kaladin's going to have to see that pacifistic approach in this situation. He didn't start a fight. He challenged them to not give in to fear, and he did it in a reserved way. That's going to be an example to Kaladin that maybe the sword is not always the first approach. We'll see if he grows from that. We'll see if Kaladin embraces that into his future. But here, things are not going well for Kaladin and his family back in Hearthstone. This new Brightlord seems to be really putting the pressure on. And we'll see where things go. This is 6 years ago from our story. But the chapter ends with the men walking away. And Lirin essentially challenges him one more time. He says, "You've threatened violence against me. Come, hit me, rob me. Do it knowing that I've lived among you almost my entire life. Do it knowing that I've healed your children. Come in, bleed one of your own." And without a word, the men faded off into the night. There's different ways that you can attack an aggressive enemy. Lirin has chose the way of peace, the way of non-aggression. And we'll see how that will serve his family in the upcoming chapters. Thanks so much for watching. If you're interested, you can like and subscribe, and we'll continue to read through The Way of Kings together. But until next time, thank you so much.